welcome back to Valley Boys TCGCK here, and we continue our run at locals with Rust TYRANNOMON Ace, or the TYRANNOMON package. We got a Black War Greymon deck that we're going up against here. He drops the Nokia to play out the Agumon, gets one hit off that search. So we get a Pomumon here in the background. Pomumon's just a Metacall play in this deck. We drop a training boost, revealing another training in the Taiga. We decided to pick up the Taiga because he's pivotal to what we're doing, and we drop another training boost. Looks like we had two, and limited options there. We just see two TYRANNOMONs from BT14, so obviously we're picking up that. Opponent drops another Agumon, gets to get his search off, pick up a piece. We're seeing a lot of red option cards in his deck, so that could be scary. And then he's forced to just go into the Greymon X Antibody without a Greymon underneath, so that's unfortunate. He realized he could have used the Nokia to reduce, but doesn't. So we go into the Taiga here, to the EX1 TYRANNOMON, which will let me play a Taiga because I don't have one on field. I decided not to use the boost because I wanted to go ahead and try to choke him to one memory, and here seems like it was pointless now, because he just D-Digivolves and pops with that Metal Gray. So now we're forced to go back to raising and rebuild, but we have a few things on board to help set us up. We go into the Kokua for one, and then the Tyranno BT14 we picked up earlier. So now we can pick up a good aggro stat because that Kokua will give us our top end an extra security attack. And you see we have a Taiga, which will reduce the play cost of a level 5, and then of course the training boost as well. So we've got a few things lined up there that we can use together. So here it looks like we're just in a, I'm trying to decide what to do here. He had played out the Kakuya there, that the Black Tamer for Kakuya? Can't remember his name properly. But we popped the training boost to go ahead and go into a Master TYRANNOMON for one, or for two, sorry. We go for two to put us to one. So now we've got an interesting stack. Do we build up? He's got a, and looks like we decide to go into the Mimi. We might have Rust in hand, and we might be trying to bait out the Rust play. Oh, but the TYRANNOMON lets us swing at the end of turn for 2 checks, thanks to his own effect. And we are swinging at 9k thanks to the Taiga on board. So we go ahead and swing with our level 5 so that if he does go up, or it does decide to swing, we can try to use Rust to kind of counter timing here to blast Evo. And I'm just worried about what his stack is going to be able to do. So he has the X Antibody underneath, so let him go into Black War Gray here, which is going to ruin my stack and give him the ability to start trashing things for my security. So again, we have a stat gone. He's playing very control, so we're going to have to rebuild again. Luckily, we do have some pieces. We see the Palmon here in raising. And then we go into the BT11 TYRANNOMON there, which honestly, it feels kind of bad because we don't get to play a Tamer off of the effect. I don't know if we had one in hand at this point, but that's not the one you want to evo and raising. You want to kind of put him on board, and then it looks like we just, we play the Piercing Taiga. So I guess we did have the Taiga in hand, but there was no other way around it. So he's going to go ahead and swing in, and this is okay. He's going to chip us away, but we're going to try to, and then he drops the blocker on board. And then of course the reboot to trash, not looking too good. He's got us pretty low, but we did chip him too, so we're not that far behind. 2 security to 3. So here we got to think carefully. So we're able to go ahead and evo here for 2 into the BT11 Metal TYRANNOMON, which will suspend his whole board thanks to the Tamers on board. For every black and green Tamer, suspend one, and then one doesn't unsuspend. So I believe we should put that effect on the Black War Gray X to keep him suspended, to lock it down, to prevent him from burning more security and causing more problems. And then looks like we tap the Mimi. Yeah, tap the Mimi to get something else in raising ready for next turn in case we need to. And he's just telling me about his protections, what I can do around it. And I think the call here might be to just, yeah, so we'll go into Ace for 1 because it evos over a TYRANNOMON for 3, and then the 2 Taigas will reduce it by 1. 1 Taiga for level 5 or higher, the other Taiga for TYRANNOMON. And then I actually don't have to pay the 1 because the Palmon in the Inherited also gives the Palmon in the Inherited also reduces. And so here we pierce through. The effect of Metal Tyranno and Ace himself will trash the top 2 security, and then the piercing will get the last check-in. And so here we just kind of have to stall out. If he has a way to remove it, the overflow is going to hurt. We're just close to closing out the game. I do believe that I locked the Blackboard Gray by mistake. I probably should have locked the Greymon. Unless I did lock the Greymon, then maybe we did the good play here. I can't remember yet, but we'll see right now. And then, oh, well, that's another play. We go into the Quartzmon, suspending everything, and then gaining memory back to keep. He's got a memory tamer anyway, so we're not keeping turn. So we keep him at 3, kind of lock him down. And yeah, he that was not expected. The Transcendent Sword, because he does have a Greymon on board, so that does let him pop and get the overflow effect. So cheap way to pop my board, but he's going to be stuck suspended. So really right now he needs to, yep, that's not going to do it. He needs a Greymon. He needed that Greymon on board to have a blocker. So now all we need to do is promote and swing for game. And that's game 1. We're going to go ahead and move on to game 2. Very, very close one. If he had another blocker Greymon, I would have kind of been in a tight situation there. He was able to evo up to try to search for it, but never saw the piece, unfortunately, until he dropped the searcher, but it passed turn. So here we get a TYRANNOMON raising. We drop the Agumon to search for a tamer. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of this Agumon anymore. I feel like the tamer pieces come pretty easy. I need search for the actual TYRANNOMON pieces. And here he gets the Agumon to see the Blackboard Gray X, so we know he has it in hand. So now we got to be more cautious of when it comes down. So we're kind of on the clock because we know when that guy comes down, it's going to be a big problem for our board. And we can't afford to get popped, especially if we're running the Ace. Yeah, that little... I ran with the Tyranno memory marker, but honestly, these memory markers are horrible. I wish they had a wider base. I don't know why they made them that way. So Evo, we get to play out the Taiga for free from hand since we don't have one on board. I think I'm going to take out... So I run one EX1 TYRANNOMON and one Promo TYRANNOMON in this deck, but I think I'm going to remove them for the Togemons. BT14 Togemons, I realized after the fact that they're so good for this deck. Palmon I loved. Togemon I hadn't pecked in yet, and thinking about it afterwards, I totally should have ran the Togemons because it would have reduced my tamers much more. With the training, we pick up a Kokuamon, and then we just go into another BT14 Tyranno over our other stack. And that passes over our turn, but oof, probably the best card in this meta right now. He hits me with the Crimson Blaze, wipes my board, and that's gonna hurt. Choking me to 1 on top of it all. So we go into the Kokua here, and then hopefully we have a level 4, but we might be stuck. Nope, yeah, we do have another BT14 Tyranno. So BT14 Tyranno, I was kind of iffy on. I thought 3 cost was a lot, but then I realized his start of main reduce the costs of your next Evo into a Tyranno or Dinosaur or Ceratopsian is for the turn, which means all his Evos after this form, so Evo to 5 and Evo to 6, are both reduced because it's not a once per turn. It just says reduce the cost per turn. So BT14 Tyrannomon actually pays back its value if you have a memory setter or a way to Evo up cheap again. So here we see we have 2 Taigas and 2 training boost, or 1 training boost, and we drop. I guess we're missing a piece here. We drop the green memory boost. We just pick up the old Rusty from BT11, and then we drop another training boost. All we can pick up there is the Terrier. You see, we do run Crimson Blaze in this list because, again, our level 4s are all half red and half of our level 5s. So we can run Crimson Blaze in this deck. And he is just Agumon rookie rushing me here, checking out security, getting his damage in. I don't think we've touched his security at all at this point, and we're down to 2. So we are in a tight situation. I think there's our level 5s. I believe we're missing our level 5s. And then he just drops a Metal Greymon, passing me a lot of memory here. So if I have a level 5, I can definitely clap back and do some big damage here. We have 2 Taigas, 2 training boosts, and a memory boost. So all we need is to have the right cards in hand, which is probably easier said than done. We drop a TYRANNOMON. Looks like we don't have the 5. Training boost to Digivolve into the BT11 TYRANNOMON to play another Taiga out. Draw off the Evo, draw off the egg for playing the Tamer. I like this Tanamon Tamer to draw, or this Tanamon egg to draw. We pop the boost to drop another TYRANNOMON. We are, yeah, this does not look good. And then we go into another BT14 TYRANNOMON. We are just missing our level 5, and we're doing this to try to get the level 5 on board, or try to search for the level 5. Essentially, we're trying to get our draw power in. Luckily, he gave us a lot of memory to build up this board, but this is just asking to be Crimson Blazed. And so we found a BT2 TYRANNOMON, which will, or Master TYRANNOMON, Metal TYRANNOMON, sorry. So that'll be able to reduce the cost with a Taiga, and then Rusty here will be able to also Evo, will be able to suspend his Mon from Rusty's Digivolve skill, and then the BT14 TYRANNOMON will let me attack at the end of turn, which will let me pierce for 2 checks, and yeah, because we have the Kukuamon in stack, so pierce for 2 checks and trash the top security with Rusty Ace's effect itself. So here we were in a bad situation. Now we've kind of come back, we've stabilized, and his board is clear. It's not looking good. And yeah, he shows he just needed to survive the turn. He has a Crimson Blaze in hand. He could remove my other 2, but he's not feeling it because we'll just check 2, and I'll be able to kind of lock the board down there. So that's gonna be it. He calls the game there, succeeds. Fun gameplay. TYRANNOMON finally did its thing. Hope you guys enjoyed the game. Hope you guys come back next time.